Hey guys, I almost just spilled my water all over my desk and my microphone. It almost spilled everywhere. That would have been bad. Okay, you guys, we're going to do EDD Q&A. I'm going to give you the disclaimer again. I'm not an EDD representative. I'm a random person on the internet. It's good at reading boring government jargon. So we're going to do questions starting at 4 o'clock. Look at the 4 o'clock timestamp. I'm going to go from there. As a reminder, you guys, I can never get all of the questions in the chat. I do have to skip through. I'm not going to be able to get everyone, but I will get as many as I possibly can. If I don't answer your question, know that I can't answer them all, and you can re-ask it every 15 minutes, and I'll do my very best to get as many as I can. All right, you guys, I'm going to go straight to the 4 o'clock timestamp, and Scotty Crook is at 4 o'clock. Appeal hearing is tomorrow. Appealed end of December for ID verification and able and available to work. Mailed appeals office letter that I was cleared to work shortly after I applied, end of 4/2020. Chances of winning the appeal. Okay, so let's see exactly what your problem is. It was an appeal for December ID verification and able and available to work. I'm not sure what you mean by you're appealing that you were able and available to work. They want to know that you are available to accept full-time work. So if you stated at some point in time that you were not able to, and it wasn't due to a pandemic-related reason, they do want you to be available to work. Now, I did just do, and I think you're one of my regular viewers, so I think you've probably seen this, but I did just do a video series with an EDD law firm that deals with appeals. So if you want to get a free consultation from them, they're not sponsoring me at this point in time or anything, but if you want to get a free consultation with them, they might answer some of your questions for you. They're called Pershing Square Law, and they will be able to let you know your chances of winning that appeal, because honestly, I can't really give you a good idea with that, not knowing exactly the full extent of what you're appealing. Hold on. All right, 4 o'clock, Michael Holland. Hi, Michael. Howdy, Ginny. I'm back. This week's question is, currently I'm on UI and have a little while to go before I get to 0. Well, once I exhaust my UI benefits, do I move to PUA, PEUC, or Fed Ed? And he's saying hi to Kat. Okay, so your UI, once you exhaust your balance, then you're going to go on to the extensions. So if you're a UI and you've never received any of the extensions yet, then next you're going to go on to a PEUC extension. There are 3 different tiers for the PEUC extension. First tier is going to be 13 weeks, and then you're going to have to wait for the next one to kick in, which is 11 weeks, and then the third one is going to kick in after that. You can collect them all up until claim week ending September 4th. Keep in mind that you have to get your balance, words are coming out weird. You have to get your balance all the way down to 0 before the next phase will kick in. All right, scrolling down. Better make sure that you guys can even hear me. I didn't even check if all right, guess my audio is good. All right, scrolling down. Diana Medina at 4 o'clock. My year ends on January 5th, 2020. I reapplied, I reapplied, did my interview on February, my 0 balance, and March 6th, I certify. I talked to Tier 2 3 times and said, will I get extension, and still can't certify. Okay, so you reapplied. You did not get a new claim, it looks like, because you got an extension, your old claim extended, and you still can't certify. Unfortunately, it sounds like you're going to need to call back in and talk to customer service again. If they did not apply your extension within 2 weeks, I would call back in if it's been longer than 2 weeks. All right, let's see. Okay, these are just messages from my assistant. I'm just making sure everything is going good. Okay, perfect. Let me update over here so I'm all set with that side. All right, scrolling down. 4 o'clock, Cusco Right. I have heard the new claim certification forms contain a job search requirement. Has the job search requirement changed? I thought job search was not required because of COVID-19. So if you go to the EDD's page called eligibility, you can search for it in Google, EDD eligibility. Or if you look on the EDD's federal provisions for unemployment, you will see there that they have stated still that their work search requirement is still waived. That doesn't mean that they don't ask you about it in the certifications, though. The certifications will still ask you about this, although at this point in time, you must be available to look to accept full-time work, but you aren't required to search for work. Keep in mind, though, that if you state that you are not looking for work, that can get you stuck in pending with a stop payment alert because the system is not built for the pandemic. You then would still qualify for benefits, but you would have to undergo an interview. So even though it's not required, I still do think that it's best to say, yes, you are looking for work, and then look for work, just so that you avoid that issue there. Okay, Tommy Thompson, thank you very much. When are you and Long Tall Sally going to take a week off? I take time off with my kids sometimes, but I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm always working on something eternally. So never. And parents don't get time off. And all my time off I would use either thinking of new business things or doing things for my kids. So that's all my time. All right, scrolling down. Let's see. Alfred Zambrana. No. Oh, Alfred's just answering questions. I see. All right. Scrolling back up to this timestamp here. All right. 401. Laura Serna. Hi, Ginny. I was just on the phone with Claimer EDD and my call got dropped. What do I do? Okay. So if you're using Claimer to place a call with the EDD, Claimer texts you afterwards and they say, did your call connect? Do you need another call? So you'll reply to that accordingly. I'm not sure the exact wording of the text, but read their text when it comes through. They'll give you a yes or a no option, and then you select that you do need a call back, and then they're going to call you again. Because Claimer gives you free callbacks if the calls are dropped, don't worry, you will get another call, but unfortunately, you still have to sit on the hold line once you do get that call. So I'm sorry to hear that. All right, Kelly Cabrera at 402. Thanks so much, Ginny. I used Claimer and got through in less than 2 hours. The Tier 2 rep granted my extension, and I was paid for 3 pending weeks. And she says, everyone hang in there. I'm really glad to hear that worked for you, and thank you for updating us. Kat, my assistant, can drop the link for Claimer in the video description if you guys want to try it. All right, Scarlett at 402. Literally just got off the phone with EDD customer service, and the lady was able to release the payments. Good, I'm really glad you got through, and I'm really glad they're able to pay you when you see it as paid. All right, Jamie Reinhardt Smith at 402. How do you report earnings on PUA? I reported a small amount, $75 earned, and now I'm stuck in pending for weeks. Okay, so this is recently, people have been reporting to me that when they report earnings, some of them are getting stuck in pending. Unfortunately, this is not something that you can avoid because you must report your earnings. You have to report your earnings. There's no way around it, unfortunately. But when you report your earnings, make sure that you're clear about the type of earnings that it was. If they have questions about your earnings, they're going to put you in pending, and then they're going to make you do a phone interview, unfortunately, because they want to verify that you still qualify for an unemployment claim. So unfortunately, there's nothing to do if you're stuck in pending except get through to customer service and talk to them. If they haven't reached out to schedule a phone interview with you, contact customer service because that's why you're pending most likely, and they'll need to talk to you about that. Okay, good. Thank you, Kat. All right, scrolling down. Got that one. But when you report earnings on PUA, let me get the first part of your question. If you're going to report earnings, if you are an employee, you're going to certify for those earnings the week that you do the work. So even if you receive your paycheck a different week, you have to certify for it the week that you do the work. And if you are self-employed and you're on PUA, so you're probably self-employed, you're going to certify for it the week that you receive the payment. All right, Laura Serna, Claimer hung up on me. What do I do? Claimer will check with you and see if you need another call, and then you say yes. And I'm guessing it's the EDD that hung up on you because it's the hold line, it's the EDD. So just tell them you need another call when they text you to check, and then you'll be able to get through. Let's see, Nancy at 403. My PEUC claim is still in my benefit year until 5/10/21. but my claim reached 0 over a week ago. Still no extension. What does this mean? Usually, your PEUC claim or your UI claim, when you're going on to PEUC, will reach 0, and then a week later, you will receive a notification that you've been awarded a PEUC extension, the next phase of it or the first phase of it. And then a week after that, you'll be able to certify, and then you'll see the balance. If you have been waiting more than 2 weeks, that is when I would call into customer service because they aren't pushing these through like they should. And it's causing a big problem. So I would wait 2 weeks, and then if it's been longer than 2 weeks, then I would call in at that point in time. All right. Joseph Rodriguez at 403. Anyone else only get paid for a couple weeks? And then it stopped again. Okay, so if you get paid for a couple weeks, then it stops again. There's a few different reasons. I'm putting out an updated pending video after this live stream, probably about an hour after, maybe like 7 p.m. And it's just an update on all the reasons why you could be pending and an updated flow chart that walks you through it. It'll be helpful for you most likely. But if you're paid for a couple weeks and then it stops, it's a couple different reasons could be. Number one can be if it is claim week ending 4/10 and later. Most people are reporting that when they call into customer service is telling them that claim week 4/10 and on is pending because they're in the start of a new quarter. January, February, March, and then April is the start of a new quarter. And they're putting you through another review, but they're essentially just holding your pending payments, and then you have to call in and get them pushed from pending to paid. If that's not your situation, has your benefit year ended? If it has ended, you need to file a new claim. If you're UI, PEUC, or Fed Ed, that could be why you're pending. Additionally, you can be pending if you have some sort of a stop payment alert applied to your claim, and that's the reason for most people stuck in pending. This might be due to no fault of your own, but if you're stuck, you have to call in and you have to get through unless it's something you can fix yourself, like filing a new claim or something you have to wait out, such as ID verification. All right, let's see. Israel at 4-3. I just got off the phone with someone at EDD and the guy told me it was his first day and he hadn't even been trained yet. I'm really sorry that you probably waited on hold for a really long time and then that was the help that you got. I'm really sorry to hear that. Okay, scrolling down, let's see. Whoa. I gotta find like a better streaming software than just YouTube. YouTube does not stream well. All right, spilling my water. Benjamin Stafford at 405. Do you think they will do another extension? I'm on PUA. Right now, PUA is extended up until September 4th. Can't tell you if they're going to extend it or not. And I don't like to guess with those things because I don't want to lead you down the wrong path in terms of planning one way or the other. So you will not know that until we get closer to that date and we see if there is additional stimulus legislation in the works. All right, Cindy Martinez at 406. Hi, Ginny. Thank you so much for your info. You're very welcome. Finally, after days, I called the EDD using the link you gave us, and it works great. After almost 2 hours, I got paid. It's really good. I'm really glad to hear that you are getting paid and that was able to work for you. All right, scrolling down, big Leo Casamento says, big cup. This cup is quite large. It's like face-sized. You were correct. It's a bucket of water. All right, I did that one. Cusco, right? Thank you. I really appreciate that. EDD is overwhelmed. We can't reach. Yeah. Thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. Let's see. 406, Adopt a Rex. I like your name and I like your icon. Ginny, I was told yesterday that the reason I have missing payments is because they're on the old PEUC extension too. I was already approved for the new extension. The missing payments have to be transferred to the new extension. That's weird because the extensions don't have their end date has been amended to September 4th. So that's strange, but I hope that whoever you talked to was able to fix it for you. That doesn't line up with the Department of Labor directives in the stimulus text, but thank you for sharing. All right, Paulina at 406. My benefit year ended. I filed a new claim. I've been stuck in pending for a month. I called EDD about 40 times and nothing. Okay, so benefit year ended. You filed a new claim. Stuck in pending for a month. New claims undergo UISD review, which means that they take the new claim and they send it out to a third-party company called Thomson Reuters. Thomson Reuters does a series of fraud protections to check into your claim and into you. And once they're done with those, then they send it back to the EDD. Now, the EDD says that this should take 3 weeks, but unfortunately, some of you are reporting that it's taking longer. You can call into customer service just to make sure that it isn't pending for some other reason, because I'd hate to have it be pending for something else that they can help you with. But keep in mind that you might call into customer service, you might wait on hold all day for like 3 hours, and then be told that they can't help you because it's in third-party review. So what you can do that may be more effective is to contact your assembly member. And Kat, can you post the link on how to find your representatives? Contact your assembly member, and they most likely will be able to follow up with the EDD on your behalf. All right. Scrolling down in the comments, please remember that I get as many questions as I possibly can, but I do have to skip around because there are so many. So you can re-ask your question every 15 minutes if I don't get it the first time. All right, 407, Juan Hernandez. I certified for weeks 5-2 and have a 0 balance. Now it shows not paid. I followed up with the EDD, said I have to wait 5 days for a notice. Will I be awarded an extension? Okay, so if you certified ending 5-2, you have a 0 balance. It's going to show not paid. Yeah, because you had a $0 balance. That's correct. Wait, so you haven't been awarded the extension yet. That's not paid is like a final decision. If you certified on something that was a $0 balance and then it moves to not paid, you're going to have to request that week to be added back in by customer service. You can try to request it over Ask EDD or contact us first to see if you can avoid calling into customer service, but most likely you'll need to call in and request them to add that in once your claim has been updated with the newest extension. All right, let's see. Whoa, where'd it go? Ms. Bag Kitty 19, thank you for the info on Claimer. I used it successfully yesterday for my claim, got from pending to paid. I'm really glad to hear that. And I remember that I think maybe this was you, were having a little bit of question once you entered in your information and then it all worked out just fine. I think that was you. Might be forgetting. I'm really glad to hear that worked out well for you. All right, Henry, thank you very much for the donation. I really appreciate that. Henry, I don't see a question from you in that sticker, but if you have one, type it into the chat and then Kat can send it over to me. Okay, Albert Ramirez at 407. Hey, Ginny, this last Sunday I certified and I got paid. My balance is now 0, but I had already like a week earlier, I think, applied for my new year benefits, but nothing has changed yet. Okay, so if you certified, you got paid, your balance is now 0. You apply for a new claim. New claim applications take up to 3 weeks to process. So if you just applied last week, I would expect another at least 2 weeks for them to process that new application. Nothing's going to change until they process the application, send you some sort of award letter. And if you don't qualify for a new claim, they're going to send you a denial first, followed by an extension award letter. So don't be alarmed if those two come when those two come separately, because they will. Okay. Scrolling down in the chat. Okay, Jennifer at 408 hold on, let me go back to 408. Told to wait for an interview. That was 2 weeks ago. Haven't heard anything. Don't know what to do at this point. Unfortunately, the phone interviews are taking, on average, the feedback that I'm hearing is about 6 weeks. Sorry, I don't want to scare you, but up to 6 weeks for them to schedule. I have a lot of subscribers that are having major problems with the phone interviews taking forever to be scheduled. I would contact your assembly member. Kat can drop the link. And let them know that you're awaiting a phone interview, that it's been so long, and can they help to follow up with you to expedite it. But unfortunately, many are in that situation. It's taking a very long time. Okay, I got that one. Debbie Hall at 4:08. Please discuss MEUC status update. Okay, MEUC boost is for mixed earners. If you are someone that had W-2 income over $1,300 and self-employment income, even if you had a lot of self-employment income, as long as you had $1,300 of W-2 income, you are classified according to that only, and all your self-employment is ignored. Now, the stimulus bill passed in December included a $100 per week MEUC boost for mixed earners who are classified that way and have this self-employment income ignored. Unfortunately, it is optional, and states have the option to implement this MEUC boost. Now, EDD stated that they would implement this. They stated that back in January. They have not provided any updates at all. This is one of the things that I'm trying to get the couple of news reporters that are willing to like send questions to the EDD on my behalf. I've been trying to get them to follow up with this, and I've gotten no response yet from them. So unfortunately, there's nothing. There's no news on that. You should be able to collect it at some point in the future is all I can tell you. All right, scrolling down. Dan at 4:09. Weird activity from EDD. Paid for last week of old claim, then moved to a new extension as of March 28th. Then next 4 weeks in pending. Then paid again for the first week of May. That is very strange because it's a pattern of off and on, and that you got out of pending and were actually able to be paid. That's the unusual part, because what most see is that they get stuck in pending and they stay there. I can't exactly tell you why, because your dates are a little off. So unfortunately, you need to call into customer service in order for them to help you with that. I'm really sorry. All right, let me see if, nope, nothing new coming over here. Okay. Scrolling down. Jose Martinez at 4:10. I was pending, also on my 29-week extension. When I got released from pending, got paid for those weeks. Okay, so you're pending 29-week extension. You called in and you got paid. Good. I'm really glad you're able to, number one, get through, and number two, get paid. That's great. Probably wasn't great while you were pending, though. All right. I'm at 4:14. Tammy Flores. If I need to file a new claim, but it doesn't give me the option to file a new claim, and I have certification still pending, what should I do? Okay, if you are UI, PEUC, or Fed Ed, you're required to file a new claim when you reach the end of your benefit year. So 12 months after your claim start date. You can find your claim start date in UI Online. So first, make sure that you're UI, PEUC, or Fed Ed. If you're PUA, you're pending for a different reason and you need to call in. But if you do need to file a new claim, you can't do it online from your dashboard. Can you do it from EDD's website, their main website? If you can't do it there, you can call in to customer service. I know that's hard to get through, but you can call in and do it over the phone. Dedicate some time to calling in. You can also mail in your application if you want to do it that way as well. That's another option for you. Or you can contact your assembly member and they can follow up with EDD on your behalf. The link to find your assembly member is going to be in the video description, and Kat can also hopefully drop it in the comments. Okay. Tommy Thompson meant to say long, tall Shelly, not long, tall Sally. Well, thank you for clarifying. All right. 4:14, Sean Craddock. Hang on if you're... what's happening here? I just lost the first part of that. Montana, oh, I think I found it. Montana's governor is taking away unemployment PEUC. Check it out yourself. Okay, I don't know anything about that. I am not aware of Montana. All right, Tammy Flores. I did that one. Haley Curtis, my assembly member, said that they spoke to EDD on Monday and they put the request for my extension. Do you know how long it will take for me to see the extension? Okay, your assembly member spoke to EDD on Monday. The request for extension. The extensions are a problem. I can't tell you exactly how long it will take until it shows up. I would hope that it would come within the next 2 weeks. If it's any longer than 2 weeks, then get them back at them to get you more help. I really hope it's within 2 weeks. That's been kind of the time frame that people have been saying if they aren't able to immediately apply it, that it's been taking 2 weeks to process. Most likely because typically when it's done automatically on its own, it's 1 week to receive the award letter and then another week to actually be able to certify. All right, Tina T at 414. I'm going on 9 weeks. Not able to certify. Last payment was 313. I've called and spoke with many reps and tier 2s. I'm losing hope that this nightmare is ever going to end. Okay, I'm really sorry to hear that. So if you're going on 9 weeks of not being able to certify, last payment was 313. You've called. Okay, well, if you are UI, PEUC, or Fed Ed, make sure that you're not at the end of your benefit year. Look in UI Online, look at your claim start date, count 12 months after that. If you are beyond 1 year from that start date, then you're pending because you need to file a new claim. If that's not the case for you and you're pending for another reason, make sure that if you were subject to an ID verification, documents, etc., make sure that you did fully finish sending those in. If it's not any of those reasons, and let's see, did you contact your assembly member yet? You've called and spoken with many reps. Okay, but you didn't note that you contacted your assembly member. Contact your assembly member because they've been very, very helpful in helping claimants get their issues resolved and expedite those solutions. So contact your assembly member next because it sounds like you haven't done that yet. Okay, let me see if I'm missing anything over here. Good. Okay. Scrolling down. 416 Nomad 209. I initially was denied and filed an appeal a month ago. Local assemblyman about 3 weeks ago, and they said they're on it, but I've had a few ahead of me. But they have a few ahead of me. No communication at EDD at all. Okay, so if you were initially denied, you filed an appeal, and you're waiting on your appeal. The law firm that I did a 3-video series with recently, I did a Zoom where I was asking him questions, is Pershing Square Law, and they deal with helping people get appeals. Even if you don't choose to hire them to help you, their consultations are free, and they will answer questions for you when you call in. So that might be a good thing for you to look into. And you have followed up with your assembly member. Now, the appeals process can take quite a significant amount of time. That was one of the things that I talked about in the video that I recently put out with them. So go to my channel homepage and look at the appeals video that I just put out like 2 days ago. And that should be helpful to you because I go through the timeline. Well, I don't go through it. The attorney talks about the timeline. Unfortunately, when you send in your appeal, it takes up to 8 weeks for the EDD just to transmit it to the appeals board. That's just to send it over. So unfortunately, you're going to be waiting for quite some time on that appeal. So view that video for additional info. And then if you feel like reaching out to that law firm, they may be helpful to you, even if just for a free consultation. All right, Tommy Thompson, Mother's Day week. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the support. All right, scrolling down. Need water from my bucket. All right, Andro Sadak says, have you seen the new EDD tweets? They are. So I put out a video a couple, like 4 days ago. The EDD didn't release press releases for 2 weeks. I made my own and I put it out. And it was basically what they should have said in a sarcastic but yet informative and sad way. Because they should be saying all of these things about how to deal with all of the problems that their system is forcing you to navigate, and how to get help, and how to identify why certain things are happening in your claims. But it's still just the same regurgitated info over and over again. So yes, I saw that. And yes, I put out a video last week basically imploring the EDD to please communicate in a way that actually helps claimants. My next step with that video is to send it out to assembly members and try to get them to communicate with me directly with the information that they get from EDD. So that's my next step in trying to get you guys a different level of help. is that I'll be reaching out to assembly members myself. My assistant has already compiled a list of all of the email addresses. It's huge. To try to get more information directly from them kind of at that next level up. So yes, their communication is terrible. All right. Got that one. 418. Jonathan, I think it's Jonathan. Where can I see exactly my benefit year ends? Go to UI Online in your dashboard, and at the very center, you're going to see your claim start date, and then you'll see your claim end date. If all you see is on extension, then you're going to count 12 months out from the claim start date, and that's your claim end date if you're a UI, PEUC, or Fed Ed. If you're PUA, then your claim end date just extends until September 4th because that's when the program ends. But if you're UI, PEUC, or Fed Ed, count 12 months out from your claim start date. I keep almost spilling all of my drinks. All right, scrolling down. I'm at 418 timestamps. Terry Winter says, I'm on PUA. Do I need to reapply? No, PUA does not reapply. PUA is a provision of the CARES Act, stimulus bill, created with stimulus bill, extended with a stimulus bill. It does not need you to reapply. PUA will not reapply. All right, scrolling down. Nancy at 419. Ginny, I received a letter of invalid claim. What is next? Next, if you apply for a new claim because you reached the end of your benefit year and you do not qualify, first you will receive a letter of invalid claim. It's a $0 award saying that you don't qualify. Next, you will then receive an extension letter saying that you do qualify to have your old claim extended. So that is what should follow that. They cannot send them together for some reason because they want to confuse you. It's very unfortunate. Okay, I'm not gonna read this one, but 419 Junior is very angry that the EDD is not hearing you. I'm really sorry. I want to give you constructive. It's only going to be as constructive as these can possibly be, but take your anger. And what I want you to try to channel it into is contacting your assembly members, contacting your state senators, contacting the governor's office in a way that communicates your problems and your frustrations in as constructive of a way as possible. And also contact local news outlets. It's fine if you want to share my videos with them or ask them to have me featured on there. I don't like doing news interviews. I'm an introvert, but I'm happy to do them to try to get the issues brought more to the surface. So those are the things that you can do to try to get things moving in the right direction. All right. 420, Nando G. You helped me get off pending yesterday. I had to call 24 times in a day, and I finally got through. I'm really glad to hear that. Was it the 134 trick that worked for you? That's working for about half of the people that use it, and the other half it doesn't. I keep the video live because I'm still getting people telling me that it is useful and helpful to them as long as the lines aren't completely jammed. All right, scrolling down. I am at 419, Jay Bagley. Thanks for everything you're doing. It's much appreciated. Keep calling. You're very welcome. I keep calling and can't get through. Can you post the claimer link? Yes, Kat, post the claimer link that gets you $5 off. It's also in the video description. If you see the video description, you click the down drop menu if you're on a mobile, and then you're going to see how to contact EDD. That has the how to call trick video, which works sometimes and sometimes it doesn't. And then it has the assembly member info, and then it also has the claimer link. Kat can drop it in the comments down below. And yeah, she just put it in. Great. So you want me to talk about what it is. So some people don't like this service, and some people love this service. The problem is that you should not have to pay to get through to a hold line with the EDD. But if you're fed up and you want to try a paid service, Claimer is a service that is, if you use my link for the first call, it's $15. Regularly, it's $20. You pay the money, you put in your phone number and your state, and then what it does is it calls you back with a hold line for EDD. and it's an EDD number that calls you. I did a video that demonstrates it, so watch that video and you'll see the exact process. And then you do have to wait on hold, but if they drop your call, like oftentimes the tier 2 reps, when you have to transfer over to them, your call will get dropped and it will be 3 hours of waiting on hold just to have your call dropped. Claimer will give you free callbacks within the next 24 hours. So if your call is dropped, that's a big benefit of using that service. So a lot of people really like it. And you can try that link if it's something that's right for you. All right. Karim at 420. What happens if you have asthma? Would that be a medical reason for you to not be exposed to COVID and not work? Yeah, if you have a pre-existing medical condition that makes it so that you have to stay away from unsafe working conditions, yes, that would definitely be a reason why you could not accept work. However, when you're doing your certifications, you want to keep in mind that work from home positions are available. So if you certify that no, you are not able to accept full-time work, you are going to be disqualified from collecting benefits. So the work that you would be able to look for would be work from home positions. So when you are searching for work and jobs and reporting that to the EDD, keep in mind that yes, you are available to work full-time and that yes, you can look for full-time work from home positions. Okay. I need some water from my bucket of water. I set it down right next to my microphone so it makes a loud sound. All right, Melissa Rice, I am getting my back pay from March 2020 now. I certified and have been paid for months March 2020 until November 2020. Continued. Any reaction from EDD on your... This is like a multi-part question. Good. I'm really glad that you're getting all of your back pay. That's really great. Any reaction from EDD on your press release? No. The press release was not intended for EDD. That was intended for you guys so that we could just acknowledge that they didn't say anything during 2 weeks at a time when so many claims are pending and when so many people were skipped over during that PEUC extension that should have come by 4/17. There's so many details that they should be sharing with you guys, and there's so many things that they could be doing to help you guys work through these issues. So that press release, while it was satirical in nature, it also had helpful information, and a lot of people kind of just found it validating to hear their problems spoken aloud. So no, I don't expect them to react to that, but I have reached out to them with my communication suggestion video, and no, they don't reply to me. So no, they have not responded. All right, Terry at 421. I can't get them to backdate my claim. I have tried to request it 4 times and I never get a response. Okay, so backdating, you can request it in Ask EDD. Ask EDD, and then I have a video that shows you the exact selections that you do in order to backdate. If that is how you have tried to backdate and you have been denied and you still feel that you are entitled to backdating, then you will want to call in. You won't want to, but you will need to. Call into customer service and you will need to do it over the phone that way. All right. Morgan at 421. The EDD supervisor I spoke with was puzzled because of the 4 weeks she released funds on. Only the second week was paid and the other said not paid. So she thinks it's a glitch and escalated my account. Okay, there is, I don't know what dates that was for, but I did a video recently. There's one scenario, and this is only going to apply to a small fraction of you. If you exhausted all of the available extensions before 3/14 and you had 1 or 2 weeks in there that were not paid because you were at 0 and you had been awarded all of the available extensions, the third extension, the 29-week PEUC extension, is only allowed to pay out weeks after 3/14. It's written that way in the bill, and it's written that way in the Department of Labor directives. That could explain that weird week or 2 that wasn't paid. So if that applies to you, then that video might be of interest to you. Okay, let me fix this and find my water. Loud sip. All right, I'm going to be at the 4:30 timestamp. as usual. Can't get all the questions. I try to do as many as I possibly can. If I don't get your question, re-ask it every 15 minutes. All right, 4:30. Dem stole the election. Do you eat with a big fork and knife along with your big cup like Pee Wee Herman in Pee Wee's Big Adventure? You know, I like Pee Wee Herman. I do. You should see the size of my plate. All right. Chris at 4:30. Hi, Ginny. I just finished my phone interview today. Seems like the rep who interviewed me was in a hurry. Less than 1 minute, asked me a question, and was told I'm all set and then hung up. 3 weeks of 6 weeks paid. Okay, so the question that I just answered about 2 minutes ago might pertain to you. I did a video, go watch it on my channel homepage, on people that have a gap that were awarded all extensions before 3/14 and hit 0. And there's like a few weeks that the Department of Labor directives for the newest stimulus bill do not allow payment before 3/14. That could be why. That applies to a very small group of people, though. I can't tell you exactly why, because I don't know why you're pending, but it also could be due to filing a new claim, having certified for an expired claim, and those pending weeks on the expired claim were never migrated to your new claim. That could be the reason why. Regardless, I'm putting out a video on an update on all of the pending issues later tonight. It's long and detailed and very boring, so watch it. Am I selling myself well? But it will answer a lot of your problems. No, it won't. It won't answer your problems. It'll answer a lot of your questions on why you may be pending. And unfortunately, the answer to most pending issues is that you need to call into customer service and get through, unless it's a benefit year issue or they're awaiting ID verification. All right, 4:31. Paul Lewis. I received a tier 2 augmented. My benefit year end has ended. I did not refile a claim, but I'm receiving payments. Do I still need to refile? Okay, this is something that's going to come up for a lot of you. Many of you are UI, PEUC, or Fed Ed. You have reached the end of your benefit year, which is 12 months after your claim start date, even if it says on extension. The EDD may have automatically awarded you a cough. They may have automatically awarded you an extension. You might think that you're okay. You might be certifying and getting paid, and that's good. Keep certifying and getting paid, but know that if you get stuck in pending, it's because your benefit year ended. The EDD is not immune to the federal level requirement that you check to see if you qualify for a new claim. The Department of Labor states very clearly that they require the states to check after 1 year to see if claimants qualify to go off of the federal extensions and onto a new state unemployment claim. So at some point in time, I would expect you to go into pending. So yes, if you're certifying and getting paid, great, but know that at some point in time, you're going to need to file a new claim. So when you get stuck in pending, that is why. All right. Alfred Zambrana says, heads up, Ginny Silver. I'm in Ventura County. My assembly member is Jackie Irwin. Thank you for sharing. Andy Garcia, 431. How do you know if you're a PUA or a PUEC? PEUC. Correct it. PEUC, you're going to look in claims history in your dashboard. You're going to click on transactions after you click on claims history. Your most recent transaction, it's going to say either DUA, and that means that you are PUA, or it's going to say PEUC, Tier 2, or Tier 2 augmentation. And all three of those mean that you're PEUC. All right, Dave MZ999, thank you very much for your donation. You have serious talent for this stuff, Ginny. Thank you. I was granted a new claim after refiling. I certified for 6 weeks since new claim in March, but all our 6 weeks are pending. Okay, so you were, first off, thank you. Secondly, you were granted a new claim after refiling. Okay, you certified for 6 weeks and they're all pending. Okay, so when you file for a new claim, your new claim is approved and then you're able to certify. Unfortunately, your new claim, once you certify, it is sent out to a third-party company called Thomson Reuters for an additional fraud protection. They review your account, they review you, and it can take up to 3 weeks. If it's been longer than 3 weeks in pending, then call into customer service. But unfortunately, while it's out at this third-party agency, the customer service reps can't do anything in most cases, unless something else is wrong. They can't do anything to push it through faster because the third-party company has to review your claim. And then after that comes back, then you will get paid. Okay. Diana, thank you very much for the donation. I really appreciate that. Diana, I don't see a question from you. If you have one, then type it in the chat box and Kat will send it over to me. Thank you very much. Okay, scrolling down. I am at 434 in the timestamp menu. Santino V, I'm on extension, my benefit year. On my benefit year, I'm on the PEUC extension tier 2. I have reached 0 claim balance. Will I get the 29 weeks next? Okay, so if you are within your benefit year, you have reached 0. Yes, you do qualify to receive the next phase of the PEUC extension. So if you're tier 2, next it's going to be, they call it tier 2 augmentation, or if you call customer service, they call it PEUY, and that's the 29-week extension, and you can collect it up until claim week ending September 4th. Keep in mind, they should do this automatically. What you should see is you should see your balance go down to 0, and then about a week later, you'll receive the award letter. A week after that, you should be able to certify. But be on the lookout, and if it doesn't come within 2 weeks, then call into customer service because they have not been good with dealing these ones out consistently, unfortunately. I need water. All right, let me make sure I'm not missing things. Okay, thank you, Kat. Okay. 434, Brock Jackson. I have 3 weeks of pending money, and they, hunching like a grandma, and they have added my new weeks. So why is my certification still pending? Okay, you have 3 weeks of pending money. They added your new weeks. Why is it pending? Watch my pending video that I'm going to put out later tonight to help explain in great, boring detail all the reasons for pending. If you were extended and claim week ending 4/10 and onwards is the one that's pending, it's due to it being the start of a new quarter, and many claims are getting stuck in pending with a stop payment alert at the start of a new quarter, and the only way to clear it is to call into customer service. If it is due to, let's see, it could be due to you reaching the end of your benefit year if you're a UI, PEUC, or Fed Ed, and you have reached 12 months after the start of your claim start date, then you need to file a new claim, and you're pending because your claim is expired. Even if you're awarded an extension, you still are required to file a new claim when you reach the end of your benefit year. Every other reason is most likely some form of stop payment alert, and you're going to need to call into customer service, unfortunately. Okay, scrolling down. Let's see, William U at 435. I recently just filed over the phone and they kept me on my old claim. But now I got mail of basically the certification for benefits in mail form. I can still certify online. Should I worry? No, you shouldn't worry. Being able to certify is usually not a bad thing, but only certify in one way. So I would continue to certify online if that's how you've been certifying. All right. Scrolling down. Let's see. 436. Ginny, what is going on with the $10,200 rebate from the IRS? It is not a rebate. So I'm going to correct you with that statement. I'm not sure if that's what you intended to mean. It's not a rebate. It's $10,200 worth of your unemployment benefits from 2020 are to be untaxed on the federal level if your AGI is below $150,000. So if your AGI, adjusted gross income minus deductions, is below $150,000, that means that the first $10,200 of your unemployment benefits are not going to be taxed on the federal level. California, we aren't taxed on the state level either, but that means that you're not going to be taxed on, so it's not a rebate. If you have already filed your taxes and you're waiting for the IRS to automatically amend it, continue to wait. If you have not yet filed your taxes, then you'll file your taxes and the updates are already processed in there. So I'm not exactly sure what you're looking for with more information on that, but maybe it was just a misunderstanding of a rebate versus untaxed. All right. Tim, thank you. Chris, I'm not going to try your last name. Chris at 437. Hi, Ginny. I just finished my phone interview today. Seems like the rep who interviewed me was in a hurry. Okay, I think I already got a similar question from you, and I already answered it. Scrolling down. 438. Bald Winner Singh says, last week I have zero balance. So what should I do? Once you hit zero, if you are UI, PEUC, or Fed Ed, you would then go on to the next tier of the PEUC extension that you have not received yet. Once you hit zero, the extension should kick in automatically within a week. After hitting zero, you should receive an award letter, and then a week later, you should be able to certify. If it takes any longer than 2 weeks, then call into customer service. If you have reached the end of your benefit year, however, and your UI, PEUC, or Fed Ed, then you need to file a new claim. All right. Mickey, thank you very much, Mickey. That's very generous. And you're just saying thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you for the support. Okay, let me check with Kat. Okay, Diana has a question that Kat just sent to me from earlier. Diana says, I did contact Assembly Member O'Donnell. EDD contacted us 4/11/425, no answer. Still certifying, but waiting on pending since 3/14. Though I see my balance rose $11,000. Okay, so you are just stuck in pending since 3/14. And your assembly member's already been contacted. I'm really sorry to hear that. Unfortunately, the only thing, if you're pending from 3/14, it's some kind of a stop payment alert, most likely, because you're not that 4/10 start of a new quarter date. Are you within your benefit year? You didn't tell me there. The only other thing is if you are UI, PEUC, or Fed Ed, and you have reached the end of 12 months worth of benefits from your claim start date, then you need to file a new claim. All other reasons, unfortunately, you're either going to have to wait for your assembly member to find out information and help push them through, which hopefully they can help with that on their end with following up with the EDD, or you can continue to call into customer service. Okay, Jessica Barrera, thank you very much for the donation. Jessica, I don't see a question from you in that sticker, so if you do have a question, type it in the chat, and Kat can be on the lookout for Jessica's question to send it to me. Okay, Paula R. at 438. Ginny, did you read their press release issued Monday? Yes, I did. I did, and ABC wanted to hop on a call with me to get my reaction to it. Unfortunately, I wasn't available. They failed with that one. So if you saw my press release video, I think mine was much more appropriate because it actually, although it was satirical, it identified all the issues that they should be talking about right now. Their press release on Monday, I didn't do a video on this. The press release on Monday was mostly them going over all the ways that they are improving their customer service, and most of them were emphasizing self-help. We've created this new Ask EDD improvements. We're creating Ask Eddie videos. We're using Twitter a lot more. We're creating these self-help menus in a chatbot, etc. But all the ways that they're communicating with you guys are not effective, and they're not communicating with you guys on the things that you need help with. They're communicating with you guys on reiterating the same things that are easily accessible already on their website. And they're not communicating with you guys on how to navigate the things that are impacting you from getting paid. They are not communicating with you on how and why you are pending, what to do. They're not communicating with you on how you can't get through to customer service and a variety of issues. And I'm going to go back to answering questions and stop ranting about how I feel sad and frustrated for you guys. All right. Purity, thank you very much for the donation. Says, thank you, Ginny. Happy Mother's Day. You help us a lot. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Okay. Scrolling down. Rogelio Lopez. I probably said your name wrong. I'm sorry. Thank you for the donation. I really appreciate that. If you have a question, then leave it in the chat box, and Kat, my assistant, will be on the lookout for it. So I don't see a question there. Thank you very much. All right, scrolling down in the chat, I got to update this. My water, big drink from my bucket of water. All right, I'm at the 4:44 timestamp. As a reminder, get as many questions as I can ramble off as quickly as possible. If I don't get yours, because yes, I do have to skip around, there are so many, then re-enter it every 15 minutes. 4:44, knees, fork clips gaming. I was 7 weeks pending. I called EDD by paying $15 to claim our app, and I got my claim updated, and I got paid today. I'm really glad that worked well for you. Kat, can you drop the claimer link in the video description? If you're fed up with calling, trying to get to a hold line and you can't get through, this is an option for you. I do not think that you should have to pay to get a government agency to help you, but if you are someone that wants to utilize it, you can check it out. And I did a video for it as well. Okay, I'm really glad you got paid. Pollinary says, Big Pun, I called the EDD and they helped me bypass applying for a new claim. You can try that. So I'll talk about that real quick. If you have to file a new claim because you reached the end of your benefit year and 12 months after your claim start date and you were UI, PEUC, or Fed Ed, if you did not work at all during the last year and you know that you will not qualify, the benefit of calling in, if you were able to get through the phone lines and you have the patience for that, is that most reps, unfortunately the reps are inconsistent, but most reps will be able to bypass the need to file a new claim and will mark in your account that you did not work, you do not qualify, and then they will put in a request for the extension. So that is still a benefit of calling through. Unfortunately, the reps are very inconsistent and sometimes you will be told differently. All right, got that one. Did that one. Lil Rambo, hello. Scrolling up, Joy Cruz, on hold right now at 4:43. On hold right now, time is 30 minutes. 134 trick works. Wish me luck. Okay, good. I'm really glad you got through. 134 phone trick. I have a video on it. It's in the video description. You call 1-833-978-2511. Right when they say select from the following, if you've listened to the message that you hate, then you type in 134 fast. And then you do it again and again until you get through. It works for some. Some are reporting that it does. Some are reporting that it doesn't. It's about a 50-50 success rate on the video comments right now. I'm really glad it worked for you and you got through. Okay. I think nope. Scrolling down. Nisha at 4:45. Okay, I spoke to an agent from EDD and he filed for me, but the balance is 0. Okay, so filed for you. Filed a new claim or filed an extension? I'm not sure. If they filed a new claim, it can take up to 3 weeks for your new claim to be reviewed and approved. If that's the case, then you're going to get an award letter about 3 weeks later. If they filed for an extension for you, the balance is still 0. If it doesn't populate within 2 weeks, then I would call back in, unfortunately. All right, Mickey, thank you very much for your donation. I really appreciate that. Okay, scrolling down. Let's see. Nick Oteen at 4:45. Pending for 6 weeks. They told me I have to wait another 6 weeks for an interview. Had to quit my job due to the chemicals I worked with and becoming pregnant. Will I qualify? Okay, so if you had to leave work voluntarily, so essentially you won't qualify for EDD, but you would qualify for disability in my guess. So I would expect to be denied EDD because you left voluntarily, but then transferred over to disability. That would be my guess. I'm not informed on the disability policies, but that would be my best guess. All right, Nathan Arquette at 4:45. Talked to a representative. She removed my flag. Where did it go? There it is. I tried to explain to her that my new claim amount, which is much lower, and I shouldn't be put I should be put back on my previous one. She hung up on me. Am I right? I'm really sorry to hear that. It depends. If you filed a new claim and you were awarded a new claim, that new weekly benefit award amount is $25 less than your old claim, then you would qualify to stay on your old claim, unless your old claim was Fed Ed. If your old claim was Fed Ed, then that unfortunately is not covered in that $25 or less policy. So it depends. You may qualify to stay, and you might not, depending on which type of claim you were. Okay. Scrolling down. I am at 4:46, and the timestamps. Dana Lawless used a call service for EDD, $30. It was a scam. They called back, 864-721-8946. They charged 3 times the amount. If I didn't, okay, so I know who that was. It sounds like he used auto dial. I did a video where I tested two. I tested Claimir and auto dial. Claimir, I have a strong preference for. I didn't outright state that in the video because I was trying to be objective and just show you both experiences. But yes, I covered that in that video, that auto dial did not give the option for free callbacks, and auto dial does state that they charge you 3 times as much if you say that you didn't connect, but you actually did get through to a hold line. If you're choosing between the services, I have a strong preference for Claimir. They're $15. I keep saying year, but it's called Claimir. They're $15 if you use my link, $20 if you're doing it for your second call onwards. And they give free callbacks. So auto dial isn't a scam. They're a legitimate company, but they have trickier policies. So I would definitely go with Claimir if you're choosing one or the other. Okay, Roberto Ramirez at 4:46. I filed a new claim because my benefit year had ended April 12th. This year, I finally got a new benefit year claim, but my payments are pending to confirm why I got fired. Okay, so if you filed a new claim, your benefit year ended, yes. So most likely they're going to need to do a phone interview with you because they need to confirm why you were terminated from your job to make sure that you do in fact qualify to receive unemployment. Unfortunately, they're taking a long time to schedule these phone interviews. So I'd expect anywhere between 1 and 6 weeks for them to get you scheduled for a phone interview. If it takes longer than 2 weeks, then I would contact your assembly member and try to get them to start following up the EDD on your behalf. All right, Marlene. Thank you very much for your donation. My claim ended on 5/22, and I'm on PEUC exactly at $0 when it ends. Do I call to reapply or do it online? What are the actual steps for it? Thank you, Ginny. You're very welcome. Thank you. So if your claim ends 5/22, you're on PEUC at $0 when it ends. If you are, so when your benefit year ends, you need to file a new claim. If you don't qualify because you didn't work at all in the last year and you know that you won't qualify because you didn't work due to the pandemic, then you may want to call in and do it over the phone, because the benefit of doing it that way is that most reps, and I can't say all because they have different skill levels and willingness, but most representatives will allow you, when you call in, they'll ask you a few questions, and if you did not work at all in the last year, they're able to put into your account that you do not qualify because you did not work, and then they put in a request for your old claim to be extended. So that bypasses the need to file a whole new application, redo all the ID verification, wait those 3 weeks while you're just going to be denied. So that's the benefit of calling in. You can file it online and it's fine as well. But if you file online, expect that you're going to wait 3 weeks while your application is processed. If you are in fact going to qualify for a new claim, or if you're just filing online. Okay. Let's see. I got that. Okay, Kat, I got that one, I think. Maybe not. Kat sent me a little bit more from Jessica Barrera's question. I haven't reached 0 on my claim until July. Oh, I see. Okay, this is the new one. Jessica Barrera, I haven't reached 0 on my claim until July. I've been on DUA and pending for 5 weeks. and there's no issues with my account. Okay, so if you have not reached zero you don't reach zero until July, you're on DUA and you're pending for 5 weeks. Okay, you will need to call customer service. Unfortunately, there's no way to get you out of pending. If you're PUA, it's not a benefit year end date issue. It's only going to be something that customer service is able to push through from pending to paid. So you can either contact customer service, or if you cannot get through to customer service, then you can contact your assembly members and they should be able to help follow up on your behalf. But try customer service first. All right, scrolling down. Let's see. 449. Ricardo says, I reapplied my claim last April 18th. I got a new claim last Sunday and I got a new card, but my payment is still pending. Okay, if you, let's see, last April 18th. If you are a new claim, you are going to be pending for the first up to 3 weeks after you certify. During that point in time, you're into UISD review, which is when the EDD sends your claim to a third-party service. They're using Thomson Reuters, and they check into your account and into you, and they check for additional fraud protections. During that point in time, you're going to be pending. So it's most likely due to that. But if you're beyond 3 weeks, then call into customer service, and there may be another issue with your account. All right. 449, Wendy Chang, already received rejection and reward letters. Also received a text from EDD that they are filing an extension for me. I'm on Fed Ed, benefit year ended in March, and $0 balance. Do I just wait? Okay, so if they already told you that you're filing an extension for you, you already received your rejection and award letters, and you're on Fed Ed, benefit year ended in March and $0 balance. Okay, so here's the thing, is that the Department of Labor, federal level requirement, requires you to file a new claim when you reach 12 months after your claim start date, which you have now surpassed. You can either wait and see if it goes through, because some claimants on Fed Ed can continue to certify and be paid even after they are expired. But you will most likely at some point get stuck in pending. So you can either wait and see what happens and kind of do it trial and error and see if you're able to wait and be certified and paid, or you can file a new claim now because you will most likely be stuck in pending later in the future. It's up to you. Choose what's best for you, but those are the requirements and what each might result in. All right. Terry Medford at 449 says, write your assemblyman or woman. I wrote Monday, got an email response last night. I'm supposed to call her office tomorrow to give more info. She is presenting my case to EDD rep on Friday. I'm really glad to hear that that was helpful. Yes, if you are unable to get through to customer service, if you feel like something is wrong and you need higher level help, contact your assembly members. Kat will drop the link in the video description if she can. Okay, scrolling down. Let's see, 450. Oh, silly. Oh, Sally. Oh, I exhausted my UI in January. I received a PEUC letter on February 23rd saying I didn't have to do anything and would automatically be enrolled, but I have received nothing. Okay, you're exhausted in January. First thing, have you reached the end of your benefit year? Look in UI Online, count 12 months after your claim start date. If you are beyond 12 months, then you've reached the end of your benefit year. You have to file a new claim when you reach the end of your benefit year, and then that would be why you are not moving forward with that extension. If you are within your benefit year, then call customer service. They are not applying many of these PEUC extensions in the way that they should or the way that they promised. There are many that have not been awarded a PEUC extension by that promise date of 4/17 or within a timely manner, which would be within 2 weeks. So call into customer service. They most likely will need to manually apply it to you. All right, scrolling down. Leanna Rosa at 450. I'm on PEUC. It says pending. I'm like, I see this in here. I'm all scratched up because I was hiking with my kids. All right. On PEUC, it says pending. After 4/5, I'm able to certify, but it's hard to file a new claim. Okay, so if you're on PEUC, it says pending after 4/5. If you're pending because you reached the end of your benefit year, is that why? Check UI Online, look at your claim start date, count 12 months after. 12 months after that start date, even if it says on extension, you're pending because you need to file a new claim. You say that it's hard to file a new claim. It's going to be a little hard, but which degree of hard? Is it hard because you can't figure it out, you don't have the button to do it? If so, then try accessing it from the main EDD website. And then if it's not there, then call in and do it over the phone with a customer service rep. Same thing is true as if it's hard, if you're saying that's hard because it's confusing and you don't understand exactly how to respond to the questions, do it over the phone and call into customer service and do it that way. I know getting through is really hard, so view my call tips in the video description. All right, Melissa, thank you very much for your donation. I filed a claim March 1st and have not received any compensation. I called and they said I have to interview, but no date has been scheduled as of last week. Okay, unfortunately, the interviews are taking way too long to schedule. The EDD is taking up to, and this is based on subscriber feedback because I get lots of feedback on these interviews these last couple weeks. The EDD is taking up to 6 weeks in order to schedule interviews. It's taking a really long time. If you're waiting longer than 2 weeks for an interview, then contact your assembly member. Kat can drop the link in the chat box down below for you. Contact your assembly member and let them know how long you've been waiting, and hopefully they will be able to follow up with the EDD on their end. Okay, let's see. I got that question. JW Dasso, you're the best. Thank you. Thank you. You're always here being supportive, and I really appreciate that. Okay, scrolling down. What time is it? 5:11. I need to drink some water. All right, I'm at 4:52. Timestamps. Margaret says, thank you for all you do. You're very welcome. On PUA, message that new federal legislation is extending PUA. They are updating their system. You will receive a message when weeks are available. What is going on? You should have received that message and had your claim extended a long time ago. Did you just now receive that message? That's weird. If you did, I'm guessing that it's a weird automated thing in their system. I would say a glitch, but I don't like calling them glitches because they're just mistakes. Can't blame it on a computer system when no one is setting up the computer system right. I think that if you are already on PUA, you are already extended, you're already certifying properly, then I think that would be a computer malfunction. If you cannot certify properly, you have not been awarded your PUA extension, you need to call the EDD because that already should have been awarded. Okay. Matt at 4:52. Some people who have pending. I used Claimer to get connected. After 15 minutes, I was told that at the beginning of each quarter, accounts go under review and that I had to contact EDD to clear it. Yes, I've addressed that in this live stream probably like 10 different times because that's the major reason that people are pending right now. If you're pending for claim week ending 4/10 and onwards, that's because that's the first week in a new quarter. The EDD does not state this anywhere on their information. They don't state it in their website. They don't state it in their stupid Twitter posts. They don't state it in their press releases, but customer service is reporting that the first week of a new quarter, some claims are going to be put into a review. And you have to call in. Somehow you have to know to call in. So I'm telling you right now, call into customer service and they will clear it for you. And then what they're telling most people is expect it to happen again in the next quarter, unfortunately. All right, April, thank you very much for your donation. April, I don't see a question from you, so I think you're just supporting. Thank you. If you do have a question, type it in the chat box, and then Kat, can you be on the lookout for April's question? And Kat can send it to me if you do have a question. Okay, scrolling down. Let's see. R. Hamilton says, I did a donation in the PayPal. Oh, okay. So R. Hamilton, thank you for donating in my PayPal. PayPal isn't a way that I see questions in a live stream. So R. Hamilton, type your question in the chat box and Kat will look for R. Hamilton's question. But for future reference, just use the little $ down below if you choose to donate for a question. So Kat, look for R. Hamilton's question. All right, Matt says, okay, I already did that one. N. Smith at 4:52. I just joined. I'm on Fed Ed. If I accept a part-time job, will I lose the extra $300 boost? It depends on your earnings. So for those of you that are going back to work part-time because you have cut hours for whatever reasons, you may be able to still collect if you're working part-time, but it depends on how much you are earning. And it depends on your weekly benefit award amount. So the calculation for that, and I have a video on this on my channel homepage so you can view it in more detail. If you earn less than $100, then the first $25 of it doesn't count, but everything after that, which you earn, is subtracted from your weekly benefit award amount. If you earn over $100, then the first 25% of that doesn't count towards what you subtract from your weekly benefit award amount, but everything else is subtracted. In order to qualify for the $300 boost, you have to receive at least $1 in unemployment benefits payouts. So you have to be collecting something that week in order to also receive the $300 boost. Okay. All right, got that one. April's question. I made an error on my application. Will this disqualify me in an interview? Okay, so it depends what sort of error you made. I can't tell you exactly based on what sort of error you made. April, let me know in the video chat, in the chat box down below, what was the error? Because I can't really answer that without knowing. Okay, R. Hamilton is just donating. Thank you very much, R. Hamilton. I really appreciate that. Okay. Let me get this back up and running so I can see if April gives me more information. April, I'm going to wait on more information from you in the chat. All right, scrolling down. Let's see, 4:53, Leanna Rosso. I'm on PEUC. I just got more money added to my EDD claim. My benefit says pending, and ID me is successful. How do we know if we reapplied a new claim correctly? As long as you go through everything submitted, you finished ID.me, then you should be successful. Unfortunately, there's not a real way to check and see. If you click file a new claim, it most likely will tell you that you can't file a new claim because you've already had one submitted. So that's one way to kind of check. But as long as ID.me went through, you should be correct, and then you're going to be waiting up to 3 weeks. All right, let me update this, and let me check for April's information here. Shake my phone to make it spin the right way. Okay, let's see. I think I got it. April said, I said I did not work, but I did. Okay, so if you said you didn't work, but you did. So the EDD is going to get information from your prior employer. So you need to make sure that you tell EDD in writing that you made an error and that you were trying to correct the error. So right now, I would go to UI Online and I would send the EDD in writing stating that you made an error, that you did this by accident. Hopefully you did it by accident. And then state what the error is so that you have it in writing, you have it documented. Most likely you will be denied your new claim and then you might need to appeal it. So I can't quite say, but I do want to make sure that you want to document it clearly and save that document. Okay, so that it's not a false statement penalty. Okay, let's see, we got that. Okay, I have 15, what time is it? 5:19. I'm going to do 10 more minutes worth of questions and then I'm going to be all done. All right, I'm scrolling down here a little more recently in the questions. Trey Diaz says at 5:14, what if I have been pending for certifying for 6 weeks now? The idea is I'm putting out a very long, very boring pending video tonight, shortly following this stream. Look for that boring video and then watch it and try not to fall asleep because it goes through a lot of reasons why you might be pending. There's a lot. But ultimately, if you're pending, the things that you need to do something about on your own would be if you reach the end of your benefit year, 12 months from the start date, after your claim start date. If you're a UI, PEUC, or Fed Ed, then you need to file a new claim and you're pending because you're on an expired claim. Additionally, if you are waiting on something like a phone interview, like ID verification, something like that, you're going to be pending until those are processed. Everything else, essentially, you can only fix by calling into customer service and having them push the pending over to paid. If it's claim week ending 4/10, many people are pending right now for claim week 4/10 and onwards because it's the start of a new quarter. And when they call into customer service is telling them that during the start of a new quarter, they review all the claims again, and there's a stop payment alert for those weeks. So in most other cases, you're going to have to call customer service to get it pushed through. Okay. Scrolling down, 5:15, Danny girl, make sure when you ask about your extension that it has actually been filed. Some of you filed claim over the phone. They never submitted mine, so I was waiting and neither had been filed. I am very sorry to hear that. Yeah, a lot of you are reporting that you called in, you were told to wait a few weeks, and then nothing happened, unfortunately. Unfortunately, that means that you then have to call in again. My call tips are in the video description. There's a few things that you can try. If you can't get through, then contact your assembly members. They've been really helpful in getting things expedited as well. All right, Absolute Jedi, thank you very much. I really appreciate your donation. I don't see a question from you. If you have a question, leave it in the chat box, and then my assistant Kat will send it over to me. Thank you for your support. Okay, Joy Cruz at 5:15. Says 47 minutes and still on hold. Yeah, unfortunately, the wait times for hold this last week have seemed to be about 2 to 3 hours. I'm really sorry to hear that. All right, Recycle. She's on fire. Thank you very much. I got that one. Let's see. Got that one. Terry is just talking about fraud. 5:16, Fifi, aka Hourglass 39. Let's see, your landlord cannot evict you during COVID. It's against the law. I worked evictions at my last job. You have rights. Okay, eviction moratorium has some specifics that I'm not up to date on right now.